Guys, somebody tell me, are the Democrats trying to lose this election? I mean, seriously. Kamala Harris released a terrifying ad that really just confirms everybody's beliefs that us on the right and the conservatives already knew about the Democrat Party. That essentially they are a Trojan horse for the implementation of socialism and then ultimately communism. Exactly what Karl Marx said was going to happen in a post-capitalist society that it has become obvious that the Democrats seem to be working towards. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching a Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, share a Black Conservative Perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So take a look at this terrifying ad that Kamala Harris had released.
So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests, everyone should get the same amount. The problem with that, not everybody's starting out from the same place. So if we're all getting the same amount, but you started out back there and I started out over here, we can get the same amount, but you're still gonna be that far back behind me. It's about giving people the resources and the support they need so that everyone can be on equal footing and then compete on equal footing. Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
I mean, guys, tell me that doesn't scare you. Tell me that doesn't scare you, guys. I mean, like, even if you're a moderate, right, or center left, how can that not scare you to death in terms of what this administration ultimately wants to achieve? I mean, just days before this ad came out, guys, Bernie Sanders plus the squad basically went live and basically told everybody that they're going to push Joe Biden to be the most progressive president we've ever had since FDR.
So our first task, we made it clear to everybody, it's no great secret. Our first task, we got to defeat the worst president in the modern history of this country. And number two, we organize our people to make sure that Biden becomes the most progressive president since FDR.
I mean, guys, the Democrats have told you what they're trying to do. They're Trojan horse. This is a Trojan horse party for the implementation of a radical left agenda, and they can't even hide it anymore. They're not even smart enough to even try to hide it before the election. They're chomping at the bit to get Joe Biden in there and kick him to the curb and have Kamala plus the squad and Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg and all these other far left radicals come in here and implement their radical agenda that's going to try to achieve exactly what they're telling you that they want to achieve in this ad. A society where everybody ends up at the same place. That's scary stuff, man. That's scary stuff. Imagine working hard all your life and building up your own stuff, working smart, saving for your family just for the government to come in and say, oh, no, you had a different outcome than this person. Let me take you down a notch so you can get with the next guy. Or the next guy, he didn't work as hard as you, so I'm going to take from you to bring him up to your level so that you guys are both at the same at the end of the day. That's the type of stuff she's talking about in this ad, guys. You can't deny it. It's right there. It's not hidden in any plain language. I mean, she even narrated it. So she read over it and was like, oh, yeah, this sounds good. This sounds exactly like what I want. This sounds exactly like what I advocate for. So you can't sit here and say that it's a straw man. No, it's not a straw man. This is what she said. This is her ad. She paid for this. Kamala has a far left agenda, guys. Equality of outcome. And equality of outcome is really a ridiculous concept in and of itself on its face. There's no government policy outside of pure government control state that some people may not even, like some people may call communism, some people may call socialism, some people may argue that it's not, but it has to be something in that ballpark, in my opinion, in which no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, you always end up the same as your neighbor. I mean, that's like a utopian society in which the government or some overarching entity is making sure that everybody the exact same, right? It's like, should somebody like an engineer or like an Elon Musk type or Jeff Bezos type or Bill Gates type or, all the people, that are, super rich in society, whatever, right? They're very successful. Anybody, that's successful. Steve Jobs, people that have changed the world. Should these people have equal outcome? And if equal outcome existed, will we have the innovations that we have today? And I think that's what a lot of these far left lunatics are missing when they start talking about stuff like equal outcome. What does that actually mean? Only the people that live in society where they can go to school and learn about ideologies such as Marxism and communism and call themselves intellectuals can have the privilege to even think about a concept like this. Because the only reason they have the privilege to think about a concept like this is because we live in a capitalist society where you are motivated by unequal outcome, and you have the stamina of living that you have because of unequal outcome. Why should I work harder than the next person if I know that we're going to just get to the same spot? Why should I try to go out here and find a cure for cancer if the government's going to take all my money? If my outcome is just going to be the same as the next guy? This type of thing that she's talking about, to me, it's impossible to do without going to some type of far left communist type of society. So is this what she's really advocating for? And it makes me think, yes, she is. Now let's talk about the equal opportunity part of it. I think everybody, including conservatives, agree that we should strive for equal opportunity, even though me personally, I don't think equal opportunity exists either, especially in a capitalist society. And the reason why is because equal opportunity can't exist because people that have more money and have more resources and network are by definition going to have more opportunity, no matter what the government does, unless the government takes away all of that, right? Which means they may have to kill off people. That's the only way equal opportunity can exist. Now, I think that so much of our achievement in society comes down to individual choices. That's why ideologically, for me, I'm more in the ballpark of I'm okay with the government providing access to education and basic things, right? To give people basic resources that they need in order to move up. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the individual and whether or not they're willing to take advantage of the opportunities they have. Everybody's not going to have the same opportunities. It's just not going to be possible. And I think one thing that the far left likes to say, well, they have so much less opportunities than the next person. They have so much less opportunities to get, to become middle class or become upper middle class or to move up. In my opinion, I think the government's provided a lot of opportunity. For example, I'm a big fan of community college. And the reason why is because it can save you a lot of money. And local community colleges, a lot of times, partner with local businesses to actually provide, the technology, the classes and the skills that are needed for local people to be successful in getting a job in a local business and to be able to more affordably pay back the money and pay for their education without going into a massive amount of debt that you see at four-year university. Affordable college education already exists. It's called community college. But some people just don't want to do it because they feel like there's a stigma. When in reality, a lot of people shouldn't be going to four-year university. That's evidenced by the $1.6, $1.7 trillion in debt that we have as a country, where these students are going to these inefficient universities, getting degrees that don't translate to anything, and they go $100,000 in debt. And then they're sitting here complaining about how they want their debt forgiven when they should have made a better choice about where to go to school and how to pay for it. It is what it is. But don't say the opportunity is not there. It's just up to you to choose how you want to pay for it. It's called freedom. However, I think a lot of people fail to recognize opportunity when it's right in front of your face, or they fail to take advantage of that opportunity. A lot of people just choose not to go to college. A lot of people just choose not to learn a skill or not to learn a trade. There's one part of this equation that's particularly compelling to me, which is access to knowledge. Most, if not everybody, has access to a smartphone and the internet. That is one resource that the private sector and the government has helped people gain more access to, which is the internet. You have a smartphone and access to the internet, then you have access to all the knowledge in the world. Anything that you want to learn about, any skill that you want to learn about, any job you want to learn about, any industry you want to learn about, it's all accessible on your phone. And that opportunity was created because of capitalism. It wasn't created because of socialism, communism. It was created because of capitalism. It's created because somebody had the opportunity to have an unequal outcome. to secure wealth and to build opportunity for his family down the road for generations to come. And because of that, that created an innovation in society that has helped everybody get access to more opportunity. And I think a lot of people kind of miss this when they're having this, equal opportunity versus equal outcome discussion. I think a lot of it is caught up in too much ideology instead of practical examples of where they kind of work hand in hand. We're obviously knowing that equal outcome is ridiculous. That would never happen. And I think we miss the practical examples of how we already have a lot of opportunity for people. And there are people trying to make this argument that there's not opportunity when there is opportunity. You just got to know how to look for it. And I think the difference is that people who look for opportunity tend to find opportunity, and the ones that don't and that are waiting for the government to give you opportunity tend to not get those opportunities. I really do think that's the difference. Too many people expect the government to make the path to success obvious for you, and there's no obvious path to success. The job is to put basic resources there for you to take advantage of, like public schools, community colleges, things of that nature, to give you access to learn these skills, basic services, roads, things of that nature that the government does to help people, get from point A to point B. But beyond that, it's up to you. It's up to you to create your own opportunity. And we don't talk enough about people creating their own opportunity, and you got too many politicians promising to do things for you that you can't do for yourself, and that's Kamala Harris. I just want to end this video with a quote from Thomas Sowell, the great Thomas Sowell, that I think perfectly sums up kind of my thoughts on this. If you cannot achieve equality of performance among people born to the same parents and raised under the same roof, how realistic is it to expect to be achieved across a broader and deeper social divisions? If there's not equality of outcome among people born to the same parents and raised under the same roof, why should equality of outcomes be expected or assumed when conditions are not nearly so comparable? I think those quotes perfectly sum up my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.